Hi everyone, welcome to my physical science class. I'm Annalisa M. Benito and I'm happy to explore new things with you today. But before we proceed in our discussion, please bring out your self-learning modules, notebook, and a pen so you can jot down notes. Our topic for today is harnessing energy from different resources. Our lesson objectives. At the end of this topic, you are expected to identify the different sources of energy, differentiate between sources of energy, and explain how energy is harnessed from alternative sources such as fossil fuels, biogas, geothermal, hydrothermal, solar cells, batteries, and solar mass. Let's have a review in our previous lesson. You are going to answer all the questions in your notebook. I will read some of the questions. Alright, so let's begin. Okay. Number 1 question. What does a catalyst do? A. Stabilizes a reaction. B. Cools the reaction down. C. Increases the rate of reaction. D. Increases the concentration of the reaction. The correct answer is letter C. A catalyst increases the rate of reaction. So again, the correct answer is letter C. Number 2 question. Which reactant controls the amount of product formed in a chemical reaction? Is it A. Composition, B. Excess, C. Limiting, D. Mole? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. C is the correct answer. So, limiting reactant controls the amount product formed in a chemical reaction. In order to determine the limiting reactant in a particular reaction, one must know each of the following except A. The coefficient of each reactant in a balance equation, B. The molar mass of each reactant present, C. The mass of each product formed, and D. The mass of each reactant present. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. The correct letter is letter C. In order to determine the limiting reactant in a particular reaction, one must know the mass of each product formed. Before we proceed to our lesson, let us rearrange the following unscrambled letter to reveal the terms that we will use in this lesson. So let's begin. The first word is very good. The answer is geothermal. Next. You are correct. The answer is batteries. Third word is you got it right. The answer is fossil fuel. The fourth word is correct. The answer is hydrothermal. The fifth word is Awesome! The answer is solar cells. Sixth word is correct. The answer is biogas. And the last word is perfect. So I guess you are ready for our lesson today. So let's begin. But before we could formally begin in our discussion, let's have some facts about energy conservation. Do you know or often hear your mother always reminding not to open the fridge for too long? Yes, she had a reason. Because every time you open the fridge, approximately 30% of the cold air escapes and it causes more power consumption. And you know, if there is more power consumption, it will cause higher electricity bill. So, now you know. Alright. Energy is defined as the ability to do work. It is essential in our lives. We all know, and it is indeed. Plus, try to imagine if the world is without energy. I know that all of you are all imagining right now. So, what is life without energy? We also realized that we humans consume much energy to carry out activities. The industry cultural sectors consume large amount of energy to operate their machinery. In offices, energy in use to operate conditioning units, computers, copying machines, printers, electric fans, lights, and other electrical appliances. And also at home, we also use energy to make our life comfortable and convenient. In transportation, fossil fuels are used on buses, trains, ships, airplanes, and other types of transportation system. Plus, there are many forms of energy that exist. These energy sources can be classified into renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. When we say renewable energy sources, these are replenished naturally over a short time. On the other hand, a non-renewable energy source will run out of supply once consumed because they are only present in limited amounts. But how we actually harness energy from these sources? To answer this question, please keep on listening. Fossil fuels are a general term used to refer to combustible products of buried organic matter which underwent partial decomposition under extreme temperature and pressure. These include coal, oil, and the natural gas. The components of fossil fuels are heated and vaporized to steam, which drives the turbines and generates electricity. Oil in the form of gasoline is used as engine fuel for vehicles and in generators, lawn mowers, leaf blowers, and small boat motors. Heating application use natural gas and coal. However, fossil fuel is known to pollute the environment. Its reservoir is limited and will last for 100 years. And also, class, fossil fuels are formed mainly from plants subjected to high temperature and pressure for millions of years. So, these are the natural gas, petroleum, and the oil. Fossil fuels are all hydrocarbons. Remember that? Again, fossil fuels are all hydrocarbons. Fossil fuels are burned to produce energy. Alright. So, petroleum and natural gas formation. So, tiny marine plants and animals died and were buried on the ocean floor. Over time, the marine plants and animals were covered by layers of silt and sand. Okay, next to that, over millions of years, the remains were burned deeper and deeper. The enormous heat and pressure turned the remains into oil and natural gas. Today, we drill down through layers of sand, silt, and rock. So, to reach the rock formations that contain oil and natural gas deposits. Now, how coal was formed? Okay, so before the dinosaurs, many giant plants died in swamps. Then, over millions of years, the plants were buried under water and dirt. Then, heat and pressure turned the dead plants into coal. Okay, that's how coal was formed. The source of this is animal manure. When bacteria decompose manure anaerobically or without oxygen into a gas mixture composed of about 60 to 70% methane biogas is obtained. This is important in generating heat, hot water, or electricity. The leftover digested manure can be used as fertilizer, bedding, mulch, and potting soil. Biogas enables farmers to produce their own electricity and reduce water contamination, odor pollution, and global warming emission caused by animal waste. Okay, and the picture is a biogas plant. Biogas is a type of biofuel that is naturally produced from the decomposition of organic waste. Okay, class, no? Okay, so always remember, biogas, this is a type of biofuel, okay, which produced from the decomposition of organic waste. Okay, so what is anaerobic digestion? So when you say anaerobic digestion, it is a natural form waste to energy that uses the process of fermentation to break down organic matter. So we're in the manure, the food waste, silver waste, turn to anaerobic digester, then produce biogas, okay, to produce electricity, heat, fuel, okay, and also the gas. And also the digester na produce fertilizer for the plants. Okay, so for the process, stage 1, hydrolysis, so we have the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Okay, and by stage 2, no, acidogenesis, ano? So we have here sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, then produce carbonic acids, alcohols, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide. Okay, so by acetogenesis, we have the acetic acid, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, ammonia. And for stage 4, we have the methanogenesis. Okay, so we have the okay. Next is geothermal. Okay, what is geothermal? Geothermal energy is the energy harnessed from beneath the earth. So there is a high temperature inside the earth's crust caused by the slow delay of radioactive particles. So groundwater will be heated up by the hot rock, which will later produce an steam. The steam moves turbines. The rotating turbines run the generators. So it is clean, sustainable, and environment friendly. So the problem with this is it can only be produced at selected sites worldwide. So not all the place in the world, no, has this type of energy. So the largest group of geothermal power plants in the world is located at the geysers, a geothermal field in California, United States. So in the Philippines, some geothermal power plants include in Makiling, Banahaw, or what we call the Macban, geothermal power plant in Laguna, Leyte geothermal power plant in Leyte, and Tiwi geothermal power plant in Tiwi. So, Tiwi Albay. Okay. So, geothermal energy refers to energy contained in underground rock and fluids. So it is used to power steam turbines and generate electricity. So that is how that is how geothermal energy work. So let us know one by one. So heat from the Earth's crust creates steam. Then steam rotates turbine. Then generator produces electricity. So after that, water is injected back into the ground. Okay. Next source of energy, so we have hydrothermal energy. What is hydrothermal energy? It refers to the heat obtained from hot water from hydrothermal vents or seawater in contact with hot rock beds. So hot water from hydrothermal vent is collected into a heat exchanger. The heat from the water is transferred to another fluid which evaporates and drives the turbines to generate electricity. Okay, so hydro power utilizes water to power machinery or create electricity. So, generator turned by the turbine produces electrical energy. So, the dam raises river level, creating drop of water. Then, turbine turned by the force of falling water. Okay, so as you can see in the diagram or in the picture in our slide, okay, so that is how it works. Okay. Then after that, transmission lines carry electricity to homes and businesses. Okay, next source of energy is the batteries. I know that all of you are familiar with this. Alright? Batteries are devices that store and convert chemical energy into electrical energy. So the energy produced results from a chemical reaction. However, they do not have carbon dioxide emissions. So, when it is connected to an external circuit, electrolytes move within the battery and the chemical reactions are completed at the two terminals of the battery. So the movement of electrons generates the current and sends electricity to the external circuit. So for households, batteries can be used to provide backup power in case of blackouts. Batteries are not considered as major energy supply because of performance and safety issues. Regulatory barriers, the resistance of utilities, and its cost. Okay, just like what I said, batteries store chemical energy that can be converted to electrical energy once a device is attached to them. Solar cells. So these devices are made out of elemental silicon. Photovoltaic cells or solar cells convert sunlight into electricity. Light energy is collected over panels. So the collected energy can be stored in batteries or can be directly converted to electrical energy. Solar batteries power spaceships and are used to provide electricity for weather instruments in remote areas. So large solar panel fields are often used in the desert to charge small substations, and many homes use solar systems to provide and for hot water, cooling, and supplement their electricity. So the problem with the solar cells is only certain part of the world get enough direct power of the sun to generate usable power from this source because of its geographical location. So aside from that, solar energy storage is expensive, weather dependent, and uses a lot of space. Solar energy reduces electricity bills and a renewable source of energy. Solar cells are often bundled together to make larger units called solar modules, themselves coupled into even bigger units known as, again, solar panels. So just like in the picture, so those are the solar. So a solar panel cells generate power by capturing the sunlight. So that is why the sun the sunlight coming from the sun is very important for this. So they are sometimes called photovoltaic cells or PV. Okay, next source of energy is the biomass. Okay, so this uses organic material like crops, plants, trees, yard clippings, wood chips, and animal waste, and is commonly used throughout the world. So the materials are burned to generate heat. So the heat produced can be directly used to do daily chores. Chores. So like cooking food and boiling water by burning the biomass in a boiler. So the generated heat is used to produce steam, which drives the turbines to produce electricity. So one of its issues is that it produces a large amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we all know that these causes are air pollution. So biomass energy or bioenergy is the energy from organic matter. So this resource can be used to produce biofuels. Plant leaves convert sunlight into chemical energy, which is stored in the plants. Animals that eat the plants store chemical energy in their bodies. Some of it also remains in manure and other ways. So the sources of biomass, and also we have the forestry crops and residues, agricultural crops and residues, sewage, municipal solid waste, animal residues, and the industrial residues. So that's the end of our discussion today. So I hope that you will learn a lot from our lesson today. So let's have a learning challenge. Are you ready? But before that, do you remember what is renewable energy sources and the non-renewable energy sources? Renewable energy sources are replenished naturally over a short time, while on the other hand, a non-renewable energy source will run out of supply once consumed because they are only present in limited amounts. Class, for the assessment today, answer the questions in your notebook using your pen. So, let's begin. Okay, for our question in our assessment, number 1 is, which of these is used to run turbines in thermal power plants? A. Water. B. Coil. C. Steam. D. Ice. Next question. Which of these is a renewable source of energy? A. Solar energy. B. Hydropower energy. C. Wind energy. And D. All of the above. Question number 3. The power plant which converts potential energy of falling water into electricity is blank. A. Nuclear plant. B. Thermal plant. C. Hydropower plant. And D. wind plant. Number 4 question. Which of the given is a non-renewable source of energy? A. Wood. B. Sun. C. Fossil fuels. D. Wind. Last number. In a hydroelectric power plant, more electrical power can be generated if water falls from a greater height because blank. A. Its temperature increases. B. The larger amount of potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. C. The electricity content is increases with height. And D. More water molecule into ions. Class, these are the key two corrections. Number 1, letter C. Number 2, the answer is letter D. Number 3, the answer is letter C. Number 4, the answer is letter C. Number 5, the answer is letter B. Class, who among you got the perfect score? Alright, very good. Good job. Our essential question for today: how can we be sure to never run out of energy? We cannot be sure about how much energy was left. Educate yourself and learn to conserve. That is all for today. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much and goodbye.